I want to start first by saying peace, rest in peace, to our brother, Trayvon Martin. Today, February 5th, is his birthday. He would have turned 20 years old today. Yeah, sit on that. Our young brother would have been 20 years old today. And yet I feel that's the perfect segue for the brothers that I have here tonight. There's been a lot of questions going on. You know, what's the bottom all about? Is this a pimp and hoe situation? Are we glorifying the lifestyle? I have two perfect guests here tonight to answer that question, as well as many others. So let's get started. Welcome, fellas.
How you doing, sister?
Peace, peace. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I'm honored to have you here with us tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Why don't y'all take a moment and introduce yourselves?
My name is Rahshon Dixon, born and raised in Patterson, New Jersey. Activist in the city, doing a lot of good things. Been through the hole, and now I'm up. I was in the bottom one time, and I'm up now.
Right.
Peace, Tyronne, Dasumo, former Bloods gang member, mentor, author, you know what I mean? Just all around positive brother, trying to see good things happen.
That's what's up. It's very nice to have you. Thank you once again.
Thank you again for having me.
You know, you two gentlemen have some very interesting backgrounds. You know, can you tell us a little bit more about yourselves, about your backgrounds, whatever you would like to reveal or not? Let us know what's happening. What's your story?
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm born and raised in Patterson, and I remember all things Patterson, you know, coming up with the family I had. And that's why when Brother Rahshon hollered at us about the web series, about his book, The Patterson Pimp, like I gravitated towards it, you know, because I feel like it's a type of story that needs to be told. My story ain't different from many others coming out of Patterson. You know, I grew up, I was blessed with a good family, a very positive, strong mother who led me in the right direction, but at a certain age, you know, I went into the streets, you know what I'm saying? I went left when I should have went right. And through that struggle, you know what I'm saying, like a life story emerged from it as I delved into drugs and then later on gang banging, jail. You know what I mean? I've pretty much seen it all and done it all at an early age, being 35. It's really not much I haven't seen in the game, you know? And now I just make it my business to keep it positive and do my best to give back to my community.
That's what it's all about.
It really is what it's all about. Like anybody who's really lived a street life, if you don't burn to see better for the people behind you, then, you know, I consider you almost like a fraud. You ain't really done nothing. If you still promoting ignorance and violence in this day and age, you know, anybody that's really been through something would grow and evolve and then want to get away from it, or at least better themselves, because you know what the bottom is. That's why when this movie came calling, when the brother reached out to me, and I'm familiar with his book, The Patterson Pimp, you know, I bought it. And, you know, I thank the brother. I can't thank him enough, because without him, I would have never got my book out.
Okay.
You know?
So you did write a book?
Yes, I did.
What's the name of your book?
My book is called How I Became a Blood Member in Patterson, New Jersey, by Ellison.
Definitely a story that needs to be told.
Yes, especially in this day and age.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Brother, tell us about yourself a little bit more. What's your background?
Again, my name is Rahshon Dixon, Patterson, New Jersey, born and raised, out of the fourth ward all my life. First of all, I'd like to say that my brother Rahshon, me and the brother go way back. When, you know, back in the 80s, in the early 80s, when I used to run the streets of Patterson, New Jersey, I used to be, you know, I'm from the fourth ward, but I used to be all over Patterson. And I used to go up on 17th Ave up there. And when I went up on 17th Ave, you know, these young dudes up there, they was like you know, a breed of young dudes. They, you know, it seemed like they were before their time. And I used to always go up that way because one of my little homies up there named Mr. Clyburn, Tyronne, that's how I got the name Rahshon and Tyronne.
Okay.
You know, and Rahshon, you know, all the names sound familiar, but you know, this was an era where a lot of us, you know, we used to just, you know, we were so cool and
and I think we were before our time, but I was a little older than these brothers. And when I first met Jay, I used to be like, yo, this seemed like my little brother. You know, so he took a liking to me, and I took a liking to him. And since that day, we had a mutual respect for each other. And I always made it my duty to look over and look out for them, because I think I was the reason why a lot of them really wanted to get into that street life, because the way, if you look at me, it seemed like the street life was really good. You know, they looked at seeing the good part, the clothes and the cars and the dressing and the jewelry and stuff like that.
Right.
But anyway, you know, I went through the era of Patterson. I was all over Patterson, up the hill, down the hill, and you know, as time got older, I graduated from high school. As time came about, went to the streets and started hustling. And you know, I wasn't the one that was going back and forth to jail every 3 years. Well, you know, no, I caught one bid when I was younger, and then just recently, in 1996, I did another stretch. I went to prison for 12 years, and that's when I took the time out to get myself together and to find out what my calling was. You know, I was this type of dude that was in a shell. You know, I don't want nobody in my business. I'm low key. But when I got to prison, I started taking up programs and things of that nature, and I wanted to be a part of my community, and I wanted to give back, and I wanted to, you know, teach the young youth, and male and female, what not to do. Not to go down the road that I went down.
Right.
You know, and in the process of me doing that, when I came home, I met a brother like this, Brother Dasu. He heard about the things that I was doing in the community, and he came out. Jay Sean heard about things that I was doing in the community, he came out. And every time they heard me speak, when they heard me at any functions, they came out and supported. And me and Jay, we met up again, and you know, that respect was still there.
Right.
And to this day, I showed Jay the wrong things to do, and now we're trying to show him the positive things to do. And when Jay called me and told me that he was doing a movie called Bottum, I didn't question anything. I said, my brother, you need my help, you got it.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, I feel the same way. You know, being products of your environment is what you make of it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, oftentimes, listen, you got to go through the burn, like you said, right? Isn't that the story of the phoenix rising out of the ashes? So, you know, you got to go through that story in order to get strengthened. You know, because without that, I mean, what do you have? You know, what do you stand on? What do you know what you're willing to stand up for? You know, what you're willing to die for? You know, what's important to you, your family? You know, I'm a teacher myself, and I tell my kids all the time, book smarts and street smarts. You gotta have both.
It's true.
You're
That's
a teacher?
the formula. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I teach math and science in the South Bronx, and you know, I'm there. I'm there in the trenches as well, but you know, book smarts, street smarts, I tell them you gotta have both. That's the ingredient to success. Would you agree?
I agree.
That's what's up. Speaking of which, you know, you did mention the book, and I just thought, you know, it was important to share, you know, some of the work that, you know, Brother Jay Sean has been doing. Now, the bottom, you know, as you guys are familiar with, this is one of the many books, you know, it's entitled How She Became a Hoe. Interesting. Yes, that's the title, How She Became a Hoe. And I've learned, you know, and I'm sure you have too, you can't just judge a book by its cover.
Sure you can.
You know, you can make a judgment call off of that, and then, you know, not knowing that you done missed out on a story, on a message. And this is one message that you should definitely go check out. Here's another book, Out of Control. You know, another one. Again, story about coming up. You know, I'm sure your story is up in here.
I know he can relate to that.
I know some of the blocks you talk about is all up in here, up the hill, down the hill, everywhere else. Another book we should check out. You know, this, you know, taking another turn, is a very inspirational story. You know, this brother, Andre Williams, very talented individual.
Yes.
You know, so much giving, such a big spirit. And, you know, to read on his life, it gives you something back.
Yes, it does.
You know, and so this is another book that I definitely recommend.
That book right
Yes.
there before you go by.
Sure.
That's the first book I've actually read in a long time. And what I mean by that is, I have a lot of books under my belt in my lifetime, but since I became an author myself, I sometimes find it hard to get into other people's material because I'm constantly working on my own. But I just wanted to dig up the Andre Williams story because that's the first book I've read in a while from beginning to end, and I was amazed by all the obstacles that he's overcome and the things that he's accomplished in his life. I truly was amazed. My wife also read it as well. We truly enjoyed it.
And guess who wrote that book?
Jay Sean.
Take a wild guess.
Yeah, Jay Sean.
Take a wild
Jay
guess.
Sean,
Guess
of
who
course.
wrote that
That's
book?
right.
That's the
Right.
transition.
And published.
Jay did a story about that, brother. Jay, when he did that, he shocked me, man.
Yeah.
You know, Jay, when I seen his material, and I went to the library when they had a presentation about that book. When brother came, brother Andre Williams came, and Jay Sean, like I heard he was gonna be there. I came there, and you know, it blew my mind. You know, for him to be so versatile and to write about from this and go right to that and write a story. I think that should be a movie also.
It will
I
be
agree.
one day.
And it will. I agree.
It's lifetime until
Yeah.
You know, so the teacher in me, you know, has a personal affinity. He's versatile. No, this is
the
brother.
brother.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
brother
now this
Mandy
one.
too.
Jay Sean, that's the kid.
Smart like me.
I never seen the kid book. That's the
This is
one.
for the kids.
I was speaking on that earlier too. I was like, he wrote a kid book, but I never seen it.
You sure did.
Wow.
This is it. You know, and there's two others. I don't have them with me. But you know, this just goes to show it's so much more than what you think it is, you know? And that's why it's important that we come out and support it. Brother, since we're talking about books, share your book. Where's your book? I want to see. I want a copy.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
I have my book present with me as well. It's my first book, published in 2010, How I Became a Blood Member in Patterson, New Jersey. Not LA, not Newark, not Texas, Patterson. It's a unique story. You ain't never heard a story like this in your life, nor will you ever have another brother give it to you the way I've given it to you through my actual experience.
Yes, I'm looking forward to reading your book. That sounds very interesting. I want to hear a lot more. Let me ask you, brother, are you currently active? Are you still a blood?
No, I'm not active in the blood game anymore. I use my time now to mentor and give back and help push our people ahead. You know, we've lost enough. I've been to too many funerals. I've seen enough. I want to see the generations behind us do better than we did.
That's what's up.
So to answer your question, no, I'm not active. Honestly, I haven't been involved with actual street life in over 8 years now. It's long behind me.
That's what's up.
Wow.
That's what's up.
Oh yeah, that's definitely what's up. You know, so speaking about that, let's look to the future now. For both of you. You know, what are your plans for the future? For yourselves personally, you know, within acting? Are there any potential roles coming up? What's happening?
Well, there's no potential roles coming up for me, but
You sure about that?
If somebody like my people's Jay called me, my brother called me again and said, look, I'm doing something else, then you never know. Because like I said, I always enjoyed acting, and I like drama. I'm speaking, I'm doing speaking engagements, so I'm familiar with crowds of people and microphones and things of that nature and cameras. But for the future, I'm gonna continue to do what I do. What I do is I'm an activist in the community. I'm mentoring young youth, and I'm going into the schools and speak. I'm in the community, and I just want to try to put that message out there and stop a lot of youth from going through what I went through, the prison system, and making bad choices and decisions.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's up. What about for yourself?
Oh man, I'm looking forward to my third book that I'm actively working on right now. I'm writing. Seriously, praise God. It's
an author. This brother's an author.
I love it.
From the streets, from the blood gang to an author. It's amazing.
From the boardroom to the block. And back again.
Word. So my third book is going to be titled Redemption. And what it is it's like stepping away from the old lifestyle. You know, I've got 2 books about gangs and, you know, everything that comes with that. So redemption is the beginning of the story into the new me, and to the mentor, and to the father, and to the husband, and, you know, just a generally positive person. So I'm excited about it because I want people to know that there's just as much to life as being a positive individual as there is in the streets. You know, our people, they look for street validation. Oh, he's the hardest. Oh, he can shoot the best. And none of that matters at the end of the day when you're doing life in prison or you're dead. But when you can transform yourself into something and give back to your people what you took away, it's honestly nothing better than that.
That's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm giving back to my people what I so rightfully and righteously took away from them, you know?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if given the opportunity to play another gangster, would you?
Oh, sure I would.
And why?
Sure I would. And the reason why, again, I love acting. Excuse me, I love acting, And I think I would do it again. The reason why, because the experience I had in doing this right here, now I know what a lot of them actors and things go through in Hollywood. Like, you know, you have to be on location. You know, it may take 4 or 5 takes, and you know, I like acting, and you know, it's like when you write a poem, and then when you recite the poem, it's like you bringing that into, you know, you bring it into life, and you make people see exactly what you see. And I just like that, you know, being in front of the camera and the microphone, and you know, just acting, you know. So I would do it again.
That sounds good.
I would do it again.
I can dig it. Well, you know, it's been so real. What about you? Any potential acting in the future?
Yeah, I definitely got the bug, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, it's my first time ever doing any type of film, and you know, it's exciting. It's a learning experience. I definitely would play a gangster again, because you know, I feel like, you know, people can relate to characters that maybe they grew up with, or somebody, you know, they knew. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Because this in no way, shape, or form does any damage to your own image.
No, not at all.
Right?
I'd like to say one thing to that. I heard an actor, and actually an actor say this the other day, and they said when you're acting, you're becoming somebody else. It's an opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and play somebody who's not you. What is more amazing than that? You know,
And I just want to mention one thing. Me acting, playing a role of a gangster, this is the opportunity that I can actually play that gangster role and not really be a gangster. And not get in trouble for being a gangster. You know, I can actually just let loose and get into the character, and at the end of the day, I left that character over there. And I'm back to myself. And one more thing I wanted to mention before, and I'm going to make this short. Rahshon, this brother is an author. You know, we talking about this guy that wrote a book called The Patterson Pimp, and had this movie out there we're a part of. You know, this brother is a writer. This brother works, he works at a college. This brother's an author. Yourself a school teacher. Myself, I'm in the community. I'm working. I'm a personal trainer. Like, you know, you looking at people that did that, and we in this movie. So, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover, like you said. So don't look at that movie or look at a clip of that movie and say, what are they doing? No, you know, you have to know what we're doing right now today also. So I just wanted to mention that.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. I'm glad, you know, to have both of you here.
And thank you for having us.
Right? It's been real. You know, that's what's up. Any final thoughts to the peoples?
The bottom.
Wow.
With it.
And my final thoughts is, one thing I have to say, whatever it is that you're doing, if it's something positive, keep on pushing. That's right.
That's what's up.
Keep on pushing.
Well, you heard it here. Thank you, brothers. It's been very real. Thank you so much for sharing your love and your energy. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate you also.
It's your girl, Jennifer. You already know. Bottom KoRner, guys. See you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, I said here like the scripture, don't mean to get you. About to be a little rude about the things you shouldn't do. Thinking that you the rude, doing what you wanna do. Now take a look at you looking kinda pitiful. Thinking that you're so sweet, running up and down the street like a dog in heat, cause you want a piece of me. Wanna throw me in the street just because you wanna creep. Now you feeling kinda cheap, shaking on your teeth. Every time the phone ring, niggas wanna change his name. What you think I don't know the game? Think the game changed just because I'm on top. Now you wanna call the cops when you see me on the bus. You think I'm gonna stop? Now you wanna look away, hoping for a brighter day, hoping that I wouldn't say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Yes, I am. Now you wanna scream and shout, make you move your back up, now your ass out. You shouted out, you bragged me out, how you kicked me out.